Hello there, Year Fives. This is your English task for today. Obviously, on the whole document, so the reading's up there, the maths is further up. On the whole document, so let's have a look at our do now, nice and quick. Let me just see if there you go, that's better. So, phrases and clauses. I'm not going to write all these out, but write the sentence starting with the subordinate clause. Now, first of all, then you've got to find the subordinate conjunction. I'm putting a coat on since. There we go. So your sentence needs to start with since. Since it is still chilly outside, comma, I'm putting a coat on. There you go. What is the relative clause? Well, you know you've got your commas there. Which is a relative pronoun, so which he had only bought yesterday. There you go, there's your relative clause. Where would dashes go? Oh, my box has gone a bit shorter. Where would dashes go for the parenthesis? Apologies. Does that sometimes. I walked down the shadow-covered path, which, as you know, I try to avoid at all cost. So this is something some of us have started trying our writing. We have looked at in class, but we haven't all started writing like this. It's where you, as the writer, tell the story and you interrupt yourself. So dashes would go, I walked down the shadow-covered path, which, dash, as you know, dash, I try to avoid at all costs. Punctuation. It was only Dave's first time at Karate Club. There's one Dave, so it should be apostrophe then S. Because the first time belongs to him. The pupils' classroom was filthy. They were told they shouldn't enter. That apostrophe is correct. It's lots of pupils, so it's a plural possessive. That semicolon is plausible because that links those two sentence clauses together. The only thing that's wrong with this, well, there's no full stop at the end, but also the apostrophe, contractive apostrophe, just needs to go between the N and the T. And the last one, hey Dave, said Mr. Cooper as they passed each other on the street, obviously on their daily exercise that Mr. Boris Johnson has told us we can all have. You need to put, there's a couple of bits here, it's testing our speech punctuation. So you need to put speech marks after Dave, because that's where Mr. Cooper stopped speaking. You also need 2 commas. You need one after hey, because that is interjection. It's like a noise, isn't it? Like oi, hey, hi. And then you also need one after Dave, because that is the speech clause, and you've got the rest of the sentence coming afterwards. Okay, the report clause comes afterwards. So you need a speech mark after Dave, and a comma after hey, and a comma after Dave there. Homophones and spellings. I've checked the anagrams. They do work today. Mr. Cooper's favourite place in Scotland is the Isle of Mull. You should have gone for that one. That one's the Isle down Sainsbury's. And then the anagrams looks ridiculous at first, and I'm just hoping that you're sitting there and it's blowing your brains because I want a bit of a challenge for you. So, the first one is crystal, and that was in the spelling rule for Y's being different sounds, wasn't it, within words? And they're from the same one. And the last one was rhyme. So for both of those, it was the Y being a different sound within the word. Well done if you got those, because I think they're very tricky. Just a little look at the task for you. So I put all this up here, a little bit of a teaching box, a tips box. So hopefully you've had to think about what to report on. You looked at the Waggle yesterday. Mrs. Coyne rang me yesterday. She said she really enjoyed reading my Waggle. She likes the Jack Flap, Mr. Jack Flap instead of Flapjack. She got it, which I was very surprised with. But sorry, I just had a bit of coffee there. You should have an idea of what's going in your report. The 5 W's in a news report are, and you should remember this from year 4 because I know you do this in year 4, who, what, when, where and why. If you can answer those, your news report's brilliant. This template might help you get started. So today is literally, okay, what do you want your newspaper story to be? All right. Now, obviously, I know you can't all print this off at home. That's the point of doing it like this. This is simply something that you can follow. You can draw this out on your page. You can just write out each question and then write it afterwards, okay? It's completely up to you. You didn't have to even use this, but I want you to have thought about all of these things. Just note form. It's a planning stage, isn't it? So, story headline. Headlines are always catchy. They're always to the point, but they don't give everything away. They want to make the reader read it. So I had a play on words, didn't I? I put Oatly something because of oats being in flapjacks. Some headlines are alliteration. Wales washed out by wet weather would be one. It's just very catchy. You could just have a very hard-hitting headline. COVID-19 locks down UK. There's nothing clever there. There's no alliteration, but it is to the point, and it is just a few words. Your headlines, you don't want, rule of thumb, 5 or 6 words tops. And then it's kind of just getting these ideas down. So in your intro, in the bold bit, who was involved, what happened, where did the event take place. So you've got your who, what, when, and where. Very briefly, all right. Interviews. Now you don't need to write what people said. You, as the news reporter, just need to think. Okay, I've got a story here. Who am I going to ask? Am I going to ask my sister? What do I ask them? I'm going to ask my dad something. What question do I ask them? The same questions? Do I ask them different questions? Have a little think. You might want to decide who you interview. You might want to start writing loads of questions. I'm going to ask mum these questions. I'm going to ask my sister these questions. I'm going to ask my brother these questions. Be a news reporter. Go and get a notepad. Go and get a pencil. Hi, I'm Mr. Cooper from the Totley Telegraph. I just want to ask you a few questions, sir. Get in roll. Have a bit of fun. All right? Do it outside in your garden. Get them sat down on the sofa. Knock on the door. Pretend you're a visitor. Hello, sir. Can I come and ask you a few questions? Get in roll. Take a photo and send it. To be fair, it'd be quite funny. So, what you're going to ask them, and you also need to write down what they're going to say. So, what last year when I did newspapers in year 5, I'm just going to show I'm just writing something down for you. So, on a piece of paper, they'd write their question and leave a gap, so they could write what the person said, and then like that. So you might want to do that. This bit here is just so you can think about what's going to happen. Now you might not want to put that. You might not want to fill that in yet. Okay. And I do know that this. I understand that this might be a bit tricky for some, as we've not done newspapers very much at all. You have in the past though, and you read the first news, and you know how you've watched Newsround. So you just have to tell the events in chronological order, in time order. But have a look at my waggle as well. See how I've done it. The first paragraph normally tends to be, this is what's happened. The second paragraph tends to be your interviews, what people think. And your third paragraph is your final sort of, here's what's happened. So-and-so's, it's been resolved, or further investigation is needed. So it's normally everything, the events in order, interviews, final paragraph. Oh, sorry, you got final paragraph there. So paragraph 2 and 3 are normally interviews. Here is then your final part. If you have got the means to be able to take a photo of it. Is it the crime scene? Is it evidence? Is it the people? So hopefully you'll enjoy having a little think about this. I am looking forward to this, and I do implore you, please do try and take a photo, or if you do it on a computer, email it to me. I'd love to read these, and I'll send them to Mr. Paxman, and he can give you virtual head teacher awards. Might go on Twitter, might go on the school website. So I am looking forward to these. Down here I have just circled this bit. I'll try and bring this bit in, because it says about do you want to use direct or reported speech? Now, if we're in school, this would be a toolkit. So I've tried to explain it at the bottom. There. So, hello. So, some of the speech is exactly what they said. So it's in speech, and I thought it was a joke. That's direct speech. That's come directly from the person's mouth, and you have quoted them. Reported speech is you report roughly what they said. So my example, many children said they've seen him eating cakes. That doesn't say, James, aged 8, said, I've seen Mr. Cooper eating cakes. It's just many children have said that they've seen him eating cakes. So there's a difference between direct and reported speech. Do get a range in. Like I said, it's good to help cohesion, mix it up a bit. But with reported speech, it's a bit naughty, but you can kind of make it sound how you want it to sound, because you don't have to quote the person directly. Not everyone likes reported speech when they've been interviewed, because it's like, oh, actually, I didn't say it like that. So something to bear in mind there. So just have a go with this. Enjoy. Have a right little laugh with the people at home. Have a think about what's going to happen. Plan it out, and think about your interview questions. Get interviewing people if you've got the time today. If they're in the house, get interviewing people, and I look forward to it.